possible, but with the amount of pepper volume that we go through, of course, as you know, these peppers are grown and grow much better in southern climates. Yes.
Thank you very much for presenting. Thank you very much for the smoked bacon and sweet corn salsa.
Oh, wow. It's my favorite.
Delicious on everything. It is spectacular salsa. So, as you've grown your firm, what did you find more challenging? Getting and maintaining the shelf space or the manufacturing and operational side?
Good question. To answer your question shortly, both. It's always a challenge, especially as you onboard a new manufacturer. We've got to build levels of trust, know that things can be done in time. So what we really do is we make sure that our agreements, I'm going to start there with the manufacturing point. Make sure our agreements are locked and loaded, and of course, making sure we're going out and understanding who the partners are, everyone from their key employees to the top down to middle management, to understand that they're really going to take good care of our brand. So it takes time, and it also takes us through the R&D process, which is once we share the recipe, once everything's signed, we go through trial batches. We run a full product, and my mom is there on site, and she approves or disapproves every batch that comes through. So it takes some time to answer your question on the manufacturing side, but we've now come to a point where we're comfortable with all 5 partners, that it really helps us with scalability. And then maintaining shelf space, that is always the trick. It's a lot of people think it's hard to get shelf space. We think the opposite. We think it's easy to get shelf space. Sometimes it's hard to maintain, right? So that's where purchasing data, like what we do, so the SPINS data, the IRI data, and basically what that comes down to is how is our product moving within those retailers. We want to be proactive versus reactive. So if we, for example, I'll give you a good example, Winn-Dixie. We just launched in all Winn-Dixie stores. All of our product lines did good except for one SKU, our ghost pepper. No idea why, other than it's the ghost pepper. So we had to launch a campaign to tell people that it's not so spicy. So we ran promotions, we did circular ads, we invested with the retailers to make sure we stay on the shelves. And then also from a supplier diversity angle, that's where I participate with retailers to not only grow our brand, but now we've taken a category captain as a leader for the space. So for example, Meijer is a great example, or Hy-Vee. They'll come to us and be like, hey Tafiq, we're looking at expanding spicy sets. What are your recommendations? What can you make? So we built trust with our grocery partners to lead and innovate the entire category. So being more than just a product on the shelf, you have to show the support, not only through capital, but through initiatives and innovation. Yeah?
How many gallons of hot sauce do you produce in a year?
I could not answer that question. It's a lot. We produce, I'm going to say it's well over 1 million of the 5-ounce units. Then we have the sachets, and then we have the half gallons for food service, and we also do industrial too. So we do 250-pound totes that we produce, which are used in food service throughout the country. So people, sometimes we don't always get credit for it, but we'll sell it to major partners, and they'll maybe implement it into a sauce, or maybe they'll implement it into a flavor. So one example is Home Chef. They're a food service delivery kit, similar to like a Blue Apron or to a Factor. They buy a lot of our product and they input it into their recipes. Yeah.
So with all of this growth that you've had over the last several years, how do you maintain balance as a family?
That's a very good question. It's tough. The good thing is though, my son, Talon, who lives with me, so it's great. He lives with us, I should say, me and my fiance. He works for Lolo's, so I get to see him just about every day, for better or for worse. Great kid. And then my fiance, she's very supportive. She's been with me since day one, since I started Lola. So when I used to work at Principal, we lived downtown Des Moines, and she would always be there supporting me through the thing. She saw me from day one when I'd get off work and work on designing the logo to manufacturing the product with my mom. She even helps at trade shows from time to time. So we don't view it as work, we view it as a lifestyle, because being in the food space, it takes us to so many different places, and we get to eat at so many different delicious restaurants. It's a win-win for everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It seems to me that if you have 20 employees and the thousands of outlets that you have, that must be almost a world's record in outlets per employee. I mean, and it has to be a secret profitability and manageability.
Yeah, so that's what's the beauty of our business is, you know, if Walmart were to send us, like I mentioned, a $3 or $4 million order, we can produce that pretty quick, and I'm talking high volume. So there's scalability. We have lines of credit with our manufacturing partners. Of course, we have lines of credit with our current banking partners as well. So it really helps us take an all ships rise approach to if we get a large order, we can fulfill it right away. But yes, that's the beauty of our business is scalability. We're here to build a brand, and we get a good product, and we trust our partners to deliver the best quality. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yes, sir.
So define success going forward. Is it sales? Is it margins? And what happens if like McCormick's calls you up and says, we'd like to buy you? What do you tell them?
All three very good questions. So yes, and possibly yes. I mean, the goal is having McCormick as a strategic partner in the future would be amazing. I mean, they own Cholula, they own Frank's, and by far those are the two largest hot sauce companies in the world. So having the backing of McCormick to help elevate our brand into more outlets would be amazing. And even though it sounds like we've hit a lot of retail outlets, there's still a lot more to go. You know, there's 7-Eleven, there's Circle K, there's a lot of other great places and a lot of great other potential restaurant partners that Lola's can really grow into. So we think about 20,000 retailers, it's a big number, but we've really just scratched the surface. And what success looks like moving forward is margin improvement, of course, more sales, and of course creating more jobs for the community, and just growing it all together profitably, keeping Lola's on that good flow. Yeah.
If you don't have preservatives in here, what's the shelf life of the product?
Good question. 2 years. Yep.
2 years.
2 years with no preservatives. So about Lola's, we use enough acidity where the pH level is balanced, so you get a 2-year shelf life automatically. Actually, some of our products will last past 3 years. I actually have a special batch at home that's 4 or 5 years old. I use it myself. The longer it ages, the better it tastes. Yes.
I might not be able to talk about this, but what exciting products, new products are coming out the line that you're most excited about?
Yeah, so one thing that new product that I'm excited about, it actually just launched. So we just launched with a company called Maverick, which just recently purchased Come and Go. We launched a hot honey. So that is now available not only at the Come and Go stores, but it's available at Maverick stores on the West Coast as well. So it's a Lola's hot honey. It's made in Defiance, Iowa, which is really cool. And it's got a flavor profile matched to our hot sauce, and it's used on their spicy hot honey chicken sandwich. So we don't get credit for it, but you will see the bottle in all the locations. If you get a chance, you enjoy a little gas station food, check out Come and Go. Get the hot honey chicken sandwich. It's made with Lola's new product. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You've spoken about your partners, and without naming names necessarily, can you identify what role they play in the process?
Yeah, good question. So Casey's, for example, amazing partner. They're putting our brand front and center into a whole different demographic across 16 different states in the convenience store space. So people are getting the opportunity to try our hot sauce that's coated on a snack, right? Because sweet, salty snacks are a growing category right now in America. So that gets us to not only a different demographic of worker, but gets us to 16 different states and smaller towns that Lola's might not normally be available at. You talk about Meijer, right? Meijer's a great partner of ours. They're kind of like the Hy-Vee of Michigan and the Great Lakes. They take us to a whole new demographic up there. H-E-B gets us to that Texas palate, you know, people that love spicy food down in Texas. And of course, Walmart takes us nationwide to, you know, in this day and age, almost to every income level and economic bracket. So it really puts Lola's front and center. So these partners really play an integral role, and we always want to make sure we're serving them as well as having a great collaboration to make sure we can grow.
Did your experience at Principal benefit you in any way? Marketing, strategic planning, relationships that you developed there?
Oh yes, 100%. Definitely on the relationships, strategic planning, and of course the financial side as well. So being able to understand a P&L and balance sheet is very crucial, of course, as we know, to having a good profitable business, and with Lola's it's no exception. So my background in finance really helped, and then the connections that I made while working at the advisor agency as well as downtown here in corporate really played a role in growing our brand. Awesome. That's a lot of questions, guys.
Tafiq, thank you very much for your presentation to us today. Super interesting to hear where you are, where you're going, and I just want to say we're proud of you. You know, as Iowans, we are proud of other Iowans doing great things, so.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, keep it up. Okay, the upcoming speakers. We have Amy Christoph Brown, the University of Iowa Tippie College of Business Dean, will be here next week. Following week will be District Governor Dave Cook. And the following week on August 22nd, we have founder and owner of Raygun, Mike Draper. So definitely some good opportunities there to bring some guests to visit and check out the Rotary Club of Des Moines. Upcoming dates. So the next morning fuel at Freedom Coffee from 9 to 10 a.m. on August 27th, we will highlighting, we just have great members of this club, right? Tafiq is a great example, but also Paul Schickler, former CEO of Pioneer DuPont, will chat with us over coffee. Be sure and mark that down, 9 o'clock, August 27th at Freedom Blend Coffee. And then following that, we've also identified our next speaker, or highlighted member on Tuesday, September 17th, our own Lynette Rasmussen, the CEO of the Rasmussen Group. They own 10 different, I've learned this a little bit, they own 10 different companies within the Rasmussen Group, so it'll be really interesting to learn more about Lynette and hear more about her company. That is Tuesday, September 17th. Also, one to have in your calendar is when we've done this last year with Becky starting it, and it just was so much fun, was this Thank Fall event. We want to do that again. It's at Jester Park Nature Center, which is an amazing place. Rich, thank you for hosting us again. Yeah, last year we had What You Smoke and Barbecue, and it was amazing. So we secured them. We've got music secured as well. And this is an opportunity to come as Rotarians, but also bring spouses and family. Kids are welcome, and it's such a cool place to go check out. So we had, I think, 58 last year. Our goal is 80 or more. So want to be sure that that's on your schedule with your families, where there's no Rotary meeting that Thursday, the 26th. This facility is unavailable, so we've timed it, the event to that date, September 26th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Jester Park Nature Center, so put that on your calendars. I want to end on this, and I plan to end on this, for those who weren't here last week. These are our 3 strategic initiative pillars for the next 3 year, for our 3-year plan. And those are building relationships, building our membership, and building our community impact. And so I want to always have this in front of you. Part of strategy is keep not putting it on the shelf, but keeping it in front of you. And all of you have, as I said last week, all you have a role in it. So think about one of those 3 things and see how you could positively impact the Rotary Club of Des Moines and our community. I wanted to say a couple other things about last week that I didn't get to, since I have a couple minutes. First of all, I should say this: if you didn't attend last week, we're more than happy to send you the PowerPoint presentation that we shared. So for any Rotarian that wants to see the PowerPoint presentation that we shared, contact Kitty and she can send it to you. I didn't get a chance last week to talk about one thing. Well, actually, a few people pursued us after the meeting, so I felt it necessary to share this. One of the survey questions that we asked was about this facility. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And because we've heard different opinions, of course, and we didn't share this last week, but it was pretty amazing, the results. So 80% of you said that you were very satisfied or satisfied with this location, 12% neutral, and 8% were dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. So vast majority were very positive about this place, and so our plans are to continue to be here. So, you know, we'll continue to check in with you from time to time, but I wanted to share that since I had a person or two reach out to me on this. And lastly, I didn't get to properly thank Carter Smith. Carter partnered with me in setting up the strategic planning process, brainstorming on how we should pursue the board on this, how we should develop our strategic committee. He then followed up with setting up all of our PowerPoints. When we had our strategic committee meetings, he set up the PowerPoint presentations. He set the PowerPoint presentation up at the meeting last week. He led the meetings that we had, helped facilitate meetings. He developed the survey and analyzed the survey results. I mean, he put in hours and hours and hours, and I am gonna be forever indebted to Carter. And I think all of you need to recognize Carter Smith here. So thank you, Tafiq. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make it a great Rotarian week. We are adjourned.
Blaine?